Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
I am Taya Salam. Many thanks for joining us again. We're starting off the show with the People's Elephant.
Yes.
Baba, they will begin their campaign in the CAF Confederation Cup today in South Africa.
Are they beginning the campaign? They did that last
all
week.
Right. They will continue the campaign in South Africa.
Against Orlando Pirates. Of course, you remember that they actually won their first leg against Ali Benghazi last week. So they want to see if they can get 6 points first in the bag and they continue from there.
This is a tough one.
They want to become the first Nigerian club to win the CAF Confederations Cup. They won the Champions League twice. So we'll see what's going to happen in that one. And for the UEFA Champions League, yes, it seems that the teams who usually win the first leg will just advance into the quarterfinals. That's what it's looking like right now, because Real Madrid and, of course, Manchester City, there was no doubt about that. They won their games respectively, and they're through to the quarterfinals. Man City, they're in the quarterfinals again. That's a hurdle they will think of how to cross this time around.
Shout out to Karim Benzema, 70 goals in the UEFA Champions League now. What a talisman has become.
Sergio Ramos back.
Yeah, Sergio Ramos back as well too. Anyways, let's go on with the show now and go to the NBA, where it's just terrible times for Houston Rockets. Yesterday night, they lost their 17th straight game. 17 games in a row they've lost.
17.
It sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, what's happening?
It is what it is. The Rockets are well and truly grounded, and they're not going anywhere for the foreseeable future.
They just can't fly.
Ouch.
It's been terrible for them. And of course, before we go to the Rockets, we have to look at other games that were played on the night. It should have been a day we'll be celebrating LeBron James because of the 99th, career triple-double. But then we're talking about the Rockets, because we're starting with the Rockets because of how bad it's been for the team. Remember, the coach actually talked about it's not if they're not playing well, they are, but somehow, when you don't have all your players around, it's always hard. But then let's start with the results of what happened early hours of this morning and, of course, last night. We're talking about the NBA before we go to the Rockets and the Hawks, right?
Yeah. Okay. So results are coming from the NBA. We have the Celtics. We have the Celtics defeating or losing against the Utah Jazz.
Losing against Utah Jazz, of course, they bounced back. It wasn't nobody could actually keep that team down. They just bounced back immediately. But then we're still seeing pictures of the Hawks and the Rockets. Tayo, maybe we just have to leave other results for now and quickly talk about what you're seeing on your screen.
All right.
That's the game between the Rockets and the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks, they've been able to turn the season around. But for the Rockets, it seems it's going down and down and down. Not just going down, the record is not even taking off.
119 to 107. That was the final score. And like we said, 17 straight losses for them now, tying a franchise record that goes all the way back to 1967-68 season. Then they were known as the San Diego Rockets. That's how long it's been for the franchise to be in this kind of situation. Victor Oladipo tried his best on the night, 34 points. Jae'Sean Tate had 25, while Kevin Porter Jr. scored 22, but it wasn't enough, obviously. And for the Rockets, we need to say that they were missing several players. As a matter of fact, they only dressed 8 players for yesterday's game. When there's no Christian Wood, there's no John Wall, Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, and Ben McLemore. So it was always going to be a tough, match for them. And that's exactly how it panned out. And I really feel for the coach, Stephen Silas. This wasn't what he thought it would be when he got the gig to be head coach in the NBA, but he's going to have to deal with all of these things. Now, let's take a listen to his post-game reaction, as well as that of Victor Oladipo.
Coming up short again, 17 times. So before the All-Star break, they were 13 in a row. We're thinking maybe after the break, they might have some players back and everything. We didn't know that this PJ Tucker was going to be like another blow for them. And then they are now 4 after the All-Star break, making 17 in all. As you mentioned earlier, a franchise, they've recorded a franchise record. That's so bad for the Rockets.
It's the team, the roster is decimated.
Players.
That's the situation.
Cope with that.
Out of those 8 players, 2 of them are on 10-day contracts.
Yes.
So that's how serious, precarious the situation is. I just don't see a way out. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel right now for the Houston Rockets. They might as well just blow up their season.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can't recover from that. It's terrible. You can't recover from where they are right now. I mean, just look at it and you're asking yourself, how did they get here? But at the end of the day, well, we'll see what's going to happen with this team. Our heart goes out to Stephen Silas. I mean, first season in the NBA, and this is what you're saddled with. He's scratching his head, asking for answers, but they're not just coming. All the best in the next game, they can just arrest that slump.
All right, then. We're still on the NBA. This time around, let's talk about the King.
Yes.
James, he talked about recording his 99th triple-double. That was against the Minnesota Timberwolves early this morning. Green James, what more can we say? I ran out of superlatives.
There's something you usually say before you start talking.
All right, season 18 for LeBron James.
Yeah, let's
it feels like any other season for this guy. What an incredible athlete. 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists for his 99th career triple-double. And, of course, they defeated the Timberwolves 137 to 121.
Let's get post-match reactions coming from that game. The coach, Frank Vogel, and, of course, the King himself.
Yeah, well, because the King himself is the most important.
LeBron 18th season. I love that whenever Tayo, had to talk about that.
Yeah, okay, but it's always important because...
You stress it.
Because it's remarkable. He hardly misses games, unlike others that sit
and he plays as much as 38 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean...
No load management when it comes to LeBron James.
He's playing every minute.
And it's just a phenomenal athlete that we've got to enjoy. Right now while it lasts. And I mean, 38 now, thereabouts. He's probably going to play until he's 40. And I'm just glad to be in this era to be watching the amazing things being done by King James himself. Of course, in that particular game, they also got help from Montrezl Harrell. He scored 25 points on the night for the defending champions. Dennis Schroeder as well too contributed 16 points and 7 assists, while Kyle Kuzma and THT scored 16 points each. And that's how the Lakers were able to get that victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Before we leave the NBA quickly, our top performers on the night, I'll just roll out the names for you.
Damian Lillard.
Of course, we're going to get to Damian.
50+ points.
Starting with Tobias Harris for the Philadelphia 76ers. In the absence of Joel, he stepped up big time. 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists on the night. Of course, Zach LaVine as well, so we cannot forget about this guy, trying his best to make sure the Chicago Bulls are in contention for the playoffs. He stood up big time last night as well, too, with 40 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Victor Oladipo for the Houston Rockets wasn't too bad, although they still ended up losing that game. 34 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. And last but not the least, of course, LeBron James, 99th triple-double. Of course, we talked about that already. 25, 12, and 12. And Cecilia's guy.
My favorite man.
Yeah, Damian Lillard. What a player.
50. Oh, come on, this guy is just...
What a player. Cecilia, 50 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists for Dame time.
Now, if you check, he's now tied with LeBron James in 7th for all-time most 50-point NBA games.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous, yeah.
Talk about wherever you are. All right, let's go to the WNBA now. Cecilia, are you excited about that one?
Yeah, because we have Chineye. She's coming back. I mean, she started her last season and last 2 seasons because, of course, injury and all that. And, of course, she had to be, working the ESPN, sportscaster, of course, analyst with the NBA and all that, calling games and everything. She had to full swing into the media. I remember we had her on the show early last year before the coronavirus outbreak when she came to Nigeria. But right now, the news we're talking about this one is the fact that she's returning to play with the LA Spark, of course. That's just, hear her talking how excited she is coming back to the WNBA for this season. Welcome back. Okay, you guys can talk to us on our Twitter handle. What you think about the games last night? Talking about Manchester City, do they have the opportunity to really win it? I remember Zinchenko was talking about quadruple. Yeah, is it possible winning all 4? But Pep quickly dismissed that. But then they are through to the quarterfinals again. That's usually their what do you call it, Tayo?
Yeah, it's not.
That's where they stop.
Bus stop.
Bus stop. Yes, that's what.
Okay.
Usually a bus stop. Can they make it by knowing that they haven't conceded a goal in the Champions League in the last seven games or so? So they seem to be the team to beat. Though Pep has been saying Bayern, of course, is the best team, but Real Madrid are still there. The coach who won a hat trick for them. I mean, he won 2. Of course, it was with the other coach, a hat trick. Talking about Zizou, Zinedine Zidane is also still in the race for the Champions League title. And then we have Zlatan. At 39, he's returning to the national team duty. Talk to us about that. We also have NPFL games coming up today. And, of course, NWFL and we know Match Day 10 will get us talking later on the program, where you have FC Robo will be hosting Rivers Angels right here in Lagos. Okay, before our guests join us via Zoom, let's quickly look at the CAF Confederations Cup fixtures for today. AIMBA, of course, they're in action. They're in action against Orlando Pirates. That's going to be the game we'll be focusing on because, of course, Nigerian interest. Al Ahly and, of course, AS Setif is also another game for today. They are in the same group. Of course, AIMBA won their opening game. The other game was goalless between AS Setif and Orlando Pirates. So AIMBA right now, they are in a very good position. You have Group B, Cotton Sports and RSB Bekene also in action. NAMSA Stars and GS Kabylie in action today. Group C, you have Jaraf, CS Sasfin, and Salitas, Etoile du Sahel, another game. Group D, Namungo and Pyramid of Egypt, Namungo of Zambia, Pyramid of Egypt, Nkana, also Zambia, and Raja Casablanca, another game to look forward to in Group D. That's the CAF Confederations Cup. AIMBA, of course, they will be hoping to get a good one over Orlando Pirates, knowing that usually against South African side, they seem to, okay, yeah, we know Rivers Angels, Rivers United were able to do it. Can AIMBA do it today? We'll find out maybe much less than day.
Yeah, we'll find out definitely. Let's go to the CAF Champions League now. Yeah, there's no Nigerian side there, but Tony Wright will give you updates coming from that competition as well to games that were played yesterday.
Okay, some of the results coming.
Yeah. AS Vita, you can see they lost against Olali 3-0. Simba SC, I remember that name. They defeated Al Merrek by 3-0. That's in Group B. You see the other results from Group B. That was Group A, rather. Group B, Amduman, they played a goalless draw against Benghazi. Ulster, I can't really see that one very much. Anyways, those are results from the games in the CAF Champions League. Mamelodi Sundowns and TP Mazembe that we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, TP Mazembe, they're out of the group stage. Of course, we have Mamelodi Sundowns winning all their games. They're through to the next round. And the last one you just saw there. Okay, let's leave the CAF Champions League and quickly go to the UEFA Champions League. Yes, where Badar Kintunde Johnson will be joining us to talk more about this one. But let's just quickly give you confirmation of the results of what happened last night. Just in case you missed it, it was 2-0. You know, Manchester City had to finish the business. And, of course, Real Madrid and Atalanta, Tayo mentioned earlier, you have Karim Benzema back. And, of course, Luka Modric was awesome all through. Then you also have Sergio Ramos, awesome score sheet, and Asensio, had to ensure that where they have that 3-1, where Atlanta had no way coming back. 4-1 aggregate ended, and for Manchester City, it was 4-0. It ended on aggregate. Badar Kintunde Johnson will join us now to talk about this. We'll start with the game between Manchester City and Mönchengladbach. Of course, everyone thought it was always going to be a straightforward game for Manchester City, simply because of the way they've been playing this season. But what do you make of the whole performance from, we expected at least Borussia Mönchengladbach to at least give City a fight at Etihad, but that just wasn't to be. They didn't give them a chance at all.
Well, I thought Man City were very professional. They were super comfortable all through the game. They controlled it well. They got on top from the very first minute till the last minute. They scored 2 first-half goals. They were quintessential City, moving the ball around, stretching play, playing through the center. They had Gundogan, they had Foden, they had Bernardo Silva down that middle with Rodri, and at some point Fernandinho down the line. It was always going to be difficult for Mönchengladbach to wrestle control from them and actually get into the game meaningfully. 2 solid goals, different types of goals, Kevin De Bruyne with an absolute belter from distance for the first. The second was a team goal, which Phil Foden started on a half turn, drove at the heart of the defense, and played a no-look pass to Gundogan to finish. The incredible thing about the City team is that they are playing so comfortably in the biggest club competition in the world, the UEFA Champions League. They haven't conceded a goal in over 700 minutes of Champions League football. That's incredible. Yesterday, again, you saw that back line very, very complex. John Stones and Laporte, it was yesterday, playing in the center of defense. So Guardiola can swap 6-7 players around and still be able to put out a super, super solid team, which not a lot of teams in Europe can do. And like some of the pundits said yesterday after the game, you look at this City and you feel like, realistically, they keep playing like this, only Bayern Munich is at that level in the whole of Europe, and no reason why we shouldn't fancy these guys as favorites. That game was done from the first leg because they brought in a healthy 2 advantage, and they ensured that there were no nerves, there were no unnecessary panic. They killed the game off in the first half, as they should, and it speaks of that maturity, that confidence with which the City team is navigating each game. And last night, the only player that has been out of the team, injured, the Dutch Nathan Ake, made the bench, meaning Pep Guardiola has the full complement of his squad to navigate the business end of the season. Ayo, Cecilia, this is super scary. They have they have a realistic opportunity to win all 4 trophies. They are going to win the Premier League and the final of the League Cup. They only have to focus on the Champions League and the FA Cup. I think they play Everton in the FA Cup this weekend. My money is on City to win at least 3 of this.
Wow. Interesting. But let's get the thoughts of Pep Guardiola speaking after yesterday's game, and of course on that very important situation of trying to win the UEFA Champions League. It's one game at a time for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. Not getting too carried away. You got to handle what's in front of you first of all, before you can start talking about winning the UEFA Champions League. Bada is still with us, of course. This time around, let's go to another game. Real Madrid taking on Atalanta. Yesterday, we thought, when we were analyzing the game, we thought it was going to be a very tricky situation for Real Madrid. But when you have Karim Benzema and Sergio Ramos on the pitch, you've got a very good chance. And at the end of the day, it was a 2-0 win, and they were able to seal a 3-1 win. And at the end of the day, they were able to seal a 4-1 aggregate victory. But are you surprised in the manner in which Real Madrid handled business last night?
Well, I wasn't. The old guard, said, came to the party. Luka Modric was the best player. Toni Kroos was making things tick. Karim Benzema scored. Ramos scored. And it's the first time they have gone beyond this particular stage in a long while. And that's just incredible. It's important to keep those players fit. Atalanta never really looked like they could do anything meaningful on the night. So for me, I mean, good value for the win on the night, and we've got to take them seriously.
Of course, you've got to take them seriously. A quick one about Karim Benzema. said at the start of the show, is now the 5th player to score 70 UEFA Champions League goals, and he's actually gone on to do this in 126 appearances. What's your take on this guy? It seems a bit underrated. Seems to be flying under the radar. He's 33 now, but still quite prolific. All right, Bada is out for the moment. But I was talking about Karim Benzema. 33, still scoring a lot of goals. He's actually the talisman now for Real Madrid ever since Cristiano Ronaldo departed. And it's a shame that his international career has just come to a premature end. Not for on-field reasons, but off-field reasons.
Yeah, and, that's why you have to be disciplined.
Yeah, and it looks like Didier Deschamps, as long as he remains the coach of the France national team, he will not play for Le Blues again. Bada is back with us now. I was asking you about Karim Benzema and his form and everything he's been able to achieve in 33 years.
Well, I think Karim Benzema is one of the most underrated footballers in the world. Behind Raul, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, and one other player.
Lewandowski,
yeah, the 5th footballer to get to 70+ goals in the UEFA Champions League. And you don't achieve that milestone by being average. The second thing that people don't realize you don't achieve by being average is playing for Real Madrid for the length of time. It's been there. You know, people have come and gone, superstar player. But this guy keeps killing it. So, I mean, I absolutely love Karim Benzema. I'm a big fan. And he showed his quality once again yesterday in the way he took the goal. Once the defensive shape of Atalanta was lost through a careless pass, he knew to run to make an angle for Luka Modric to square the ball. And that's why he scored so many goals in the course of his career. So, and he's gonna keep. I mean, he's gonna keep scoring goals. Like you quite rightly said, it's a shame that the whole disciplinary issue played out, and you know, he got dropped from the French national team setup. If not, Karim Benzema would actually be a world champion because I see no reason why he would not have made the last World Cup winning team for France. I mean, he's clearly one of the best French footballers, still doing it. But for, you know, off the field incidences, he's not played for the national team for a very long time, which reminds me of a certain Nicolas Anelka, who, in spite of his genius at club football, never really was able to cut it for the national team because of different disciplinary issues. But Karim Benzema, without a doubt, will go down in history as one of the most prolific and one of the most awarded, just from a trophy count standpoint, Real Madrid number 9s of all time, and that's no feat to that's no mean feat, and that's not anything to take for granted in football parlance.
Yeah. All right. So congratulations to Karim Benzema on 17 UEFA Champions League goals. There are 2 games that will be played tonight. Very tough game between Atletico Madrid and Chelsea. Of course, it's also Bayern Munich taking on Lazio. That seemed to be done and dusted already. But the Chelsea and Atletico is still 1-0 in favor of Chelsea. And before we get the thoughts of Bada, let's listen to the coach, Thomas Tuchel, speaking about playing against a very difficult Atletico Madrid side. Complete squad for Atletico Madrid, but unfortunately for Chelsea, they're going to be missing Thiago Silva. Tammy Abraham is missing as well, to Mason Mount, as well as Jorginho. Bada, all these absences surely will affect Chelsea tonight against Atletico Madrid.
Particularly Mason Mount, Tayo. Mason Mount has been taught a revelation over the course of the season. At first, certain persons who didn't understand the quality that he brought to the Chelsea team were criticizing Frank Lampard because results weren't going their way and they were looking for a scapegoat. But he's proven that with Thomas Tuchel in charge now, the only constant thing, even with changing coaches, is his quality. And he continues to play and he continues to drive this Chelsea team forward. Yesterday night, there was a lot of plaudits for Phil Foden for the way he carries the ball and dribbles past people. If you're looking for a Phil Foden in the Chelsea team, it is Mason Mount. He's the guy who carries the ball, who drives out of position, who creates panic, who links up play. He's very creative, he's strong, he's quick, he can score goals. He's almost a total package, and it's easy to see why coaches love him. And the fact that he's not playing tonight is a massive blow for Chelsea, because Chelsea will need, to maybe suck Atletico Madrid into a false sense of getting that equalizer over the tie, and then be able to exploit, the gaps on the breakaway. And you need a player of Mason Mount's quality. Of course, they have other players like Kovacic and Kante, down the middle. But I think Mason Mount brings something extra, which clearly they were missing today. And the last time Atletico Madrid came to England last year in the Champions League, needing to reverse a first leg deficit, they did it against Liverpool. Remember that. So for that reason, I wouldn't be ruling Atletico Madrid out because they've got players who can change the tide in the twinkle of an eye, with Luis Suarez, Angel Correa, all those kind of players. All it takes is just one moment of brilliance, because even in the first leg, all it took was an Oliver Giroud inspired moment, to win it. And if Atletico Madrid do get the first goal, you can expect that it's going to be a very, very long night, because they will defend with their lives. They will try and push it as far as possible. Extra time maybe, penalties maybe. So Chelsea have got to be looking to score early to kill off the tie, or at least to give Atletico Madrid a humongous mountain to climb. But this particular tie is by no means finished. We're going to see fireworks from the very first minute till the end.
Okay, interesting.
There's not much to say about Bayern and Lazio, right?
Done.
Let's just move on.
It's done. It's done. We probably would see more of the fringe players like Jamal Musiala and other players from the bench who don't get to play very regularly at this stage. So expect Bayern to change things around a little bit. It's a 4-1 advantage. It's as big as it gets. Bayern are through to the next round. End of story.
End of story, indeed. Before we let you go, Bada, a quick one on the return of Zlatan Ibrahimovic to international football.
Well, Zlatan is clearly one of the biggest brands in football, one of the most popular personalities in football. But beyond just being popular and being such a huge brand, he backs it up with his performances on the pitch. He's just coming back from injury, but before then, he was one of the top scorers in the Serie A at age 39. And if he's coming back to play for the Swedish national team, he brings his inspirational quality, the humph, the X factor that you want in the team. And of course, he's great for press. The cameras love him. There's a lot of columns that are written about him, and he would say things like he said yesterday, God has returned. Very controversial. But it is Zlatan. That's what makes the brand. And that whole show business side of things adds to the excitement of football. And football is business, and people like Zlatan are good for business.
Yeah, good for business indeed. We might just be saying Zlatan at the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Bada, we want to thank you for joining us on the show. Hopefully we can do this again next week. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
All right, after the break, we'll be talking about the big, this is really big news. We know that Africa Cup of Nations has been every 2 years, but there were talks that it could be, maybe every 4 years and all that. But the new CAF president, Patrice Motsepe, has insisted that it will continue every 2 years. We'll listen to him after this break.
Oh, he's the secretary, Hakim Rabiu Okikio. Rabiu Okikio. Hakim,
Welcome back to Channel Sports. This morning we're on the home stretch now. Of course, there's still a lot to talk about on the show, including the NPFL and NWFL.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier we're supposed to listen to Patrice Motsepe, talking about the fact that AFCON will be every 2 years, and of course on Gianni Infantino.
A very important question. I mean, this is one area where there were different views amongst different people, and I've got no doubt where we are now, it has to be every 2 years. There's no doubt about that. Let me say something quickly. You know, African football needs partners. And you need partners who can make things happen. You've got partners who've got brilliant ideas, it's fine. You've got partners who will encourage you, it's fine. But we need partners who will be with us on the ground and in this practical, tangible, accessible manner, make a difference in Africa. So, Infantino, in all of the discussions and his passion for African football, his commitment to African football, his partnership to make African football succeed, and the discussions I've had with him for quite some time, and that's why I can confidently say that I'm absolutely committed to work together with him.
Working well together with, of course, FIFA president, and the fact that if you're thinking there's going to be any changes at all concerning AFCON, well, there won't be any because it's going to be every 2 years. Yeah. I love that.
Don't see any reason for
anything, right? So no need for the argument or whatever.
Exactly. And on Gianni Infantino talks in some quarters that he's had overbearing influence on African football and all of that. But it's just trying to justify the reason why this guy loves African football and is very committed to seeing the sport grow. Go to the next level on the continent. So, which is key. We just continue to monitor that partnership between the FIFA president as well as the Confederation of African Football. Let's talk about Nigerian Women's Professional Football League now. Games will go down, Cecilia, today, including one right here in Lagos, right? All right, so those are the fixtures for you, match day 10.
Yeah, FC Robo and Rivers Angels. Remember Rivers Angels came to Lagos last week against Dream Star. It was a draw. And Dream Star, remember, that's a team that, is hard for them. They're at the bottom.
That was a great result.
Great result for them. The coach Tajudeen, turning it around. So he feels that will be better. But there will be a way at Sunshine Queens today. And Nassau Amazons and Royal Queens will also be in action. Bayelsa Queens still topping the table versus Pelican Stars. Rivers Angels means a chance to actually close it in. If they had beaten Dream Star, it would have been top. But Bayelsa still there. Against Pelican, where Pelican Stars, remember how FC Robo thrashed that team 5-1 and all that. Even Dream Star, I mean, it's been awful for them. Confluence Queens and Oshun Babes will also be in action. Delta Queens and Ibom Angels also in action. Edo Queens, who had to suspend their coach, will also be in action against Abia Angels. But the big game everyone is looking forward to is obviously FC Robo and Rivers Angels because of the way FC Robos have been beating team. We saw highlights of how they took out Pelican Stars 5-1, took out Oshun Babes when they came here. And of course, again, Dream Star, it was a 5-star performance. A return of money gift from the national team, setting the ball rolling for the team. But away from home, they couldn't get a victory. But then at home, it seems to be the team to beat. Just look at that free kick again.
All right, so we'll see how that game pans out. You can always join us on the show tomorrow for a comprehensive review of FC Robo versus Rivers Angels, as well as all the games on match day 10 of the Nigerian Women's Professional Football League. Let's go to the guys now. The games will be played as well too. Midweek matches. Cecilia, it's hotting up now.
It is.
And I'm very excited. And anyways, those are the fixtures for you. Match day 16, Akwa United FC Fanyuba, Rivers versus MFMFC. There's also Warri Wolves taking on Jigawa Golden Stars. Heartland versus Wiki Tourist will also be in action. In all the games, Adamawa United versus Abia Warriors, will they continue the unbeaten run? In Adamawa, we'll see. And last but not the least is Kano Pillars versus Rivers, Kwara United, pardon me.
Okay, that's the one to also look forward to, knowing that Kwara United are the top. Kano Pillars will try to bounce back from that
mauling by Abia Warriors. They didn't see that result coming.
At all. Like, fine. The Abia Warriors have been, resurgence and good form and all that, but beating Kano Pillars by 4-1,
crushing the
first and second half, I wasn't good at all. But before we go to the papers, let's just quickly take some tweets out of the way. Just maybe 2 or 3 we can. Here's Jay says, please, there are no comments on the African Super League. Is Africa truly considering this? It won't be good for MPFL. Also, when we have Super Eagles, Falcons players with our international clubs, why do they not train with the local clubs in Nigeria? That question should go to some of those players and all that.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. Why don't they do that? Because, you cannot compare how competitive the clubs in Europe are to Nigerian League. That's a fact. And also the fact that, well, we'll see if that Super League will definitely come to play, because Gianni Infantino talked about it and all that. Montepe hasn't talked about that. But the one right now was the AFCON. That's the one he was talking about. And Noble Flyerman says, Zlatan to me is a hybrid, yes. And not human. At 39, shame on all young players that do not push themselves. This man played with the great IS team of 1998 and 2000, which has the likes of Jerry Litterman and all that. And also, it says it's only City that can stop Man City from winning at least 2 trophies this season. We're looking at 4 for them. Taya, you have some others?
Yeah, let's go for Abosun. You're talking about the CAF Confederation Cup match between Enyimba and Orlando Pirates, and you're saying the Pirates can actually be surmounted in SA if only Enyimba can get the act together. But I see the match ending in a draw. Law Alpha as well, so you're talking about that game. Enyimba should play with a lot of caution and neatness, particularly in their box, where the flat-footed Orlando Pirates players will like to bring their gimmicks. Interesting. Yeah. I was talking about Chelsea as well, so Chelsea will go through, but they will shed some blood. Okay. All right, let's look at the papers now before we close the show. And we have 3. Let's start with Sports and Life.
All right.
Sports and Life. Of course, a lot of stories about the UEFA Champions League. Simeone backing Suarez and Tuchel's run, unbeaten run as Chelsea manager. Of course, Suarez is a player that can do just that. We also have a story concerning Kelechi Iheanacho battles against Benin Republic and Lesotho. Iheanacho arrives for Skiros next week. Oh, fantastic. Hopefully you're bringing that form from Leicester to Lagos. What else? Laporta rushes to secure £107 million bank loan. Of course, that's to secure his presidency as Barcelona president.
Okay, let me go to Sporting Sun is the next one. You see have the picture of Kelechi Iheanacho still making headlines after the hat-trick he scored. Iheanacho wants to lead Eagles attack. He desires Osimhen's partnership. And of course, he's been named in the EPL Team of the Week. And we're actually predicting he might just be a player of the month because he's been good.
For this particular month,
he's been good. So, I mean, he
will be shortlisted, definitely. Yeah.
We'll see Ramos Benzema kill Atlanta's dream, of course. They're back. Dinamo Zagreb coach resigns, heads to prison. Yeah, I mean, when I heard that news, I was like, how did this happen?
That was a crazy story.
Paul Onuachu set to quit Genk. I will be happy. Come to England, boy, if you can.
Why not? Why not? All the goals
because all the goals is scoring actually are going to West. And CAF Confederation score. We are in South Africa to win. That's the Imbas captain, of course. Remember that? I mean, the striker, that thunderbolt that he scored, in the last game. So he should be able to lead that again. Orlando Pirates Austin, today at 5 p.m. Austin Oladapo, yes, that's the guy. Complete Sports is the last one this morning, and of course, took ourselves. We are ready for Atletico Challenge. Okay, is banking on, and Simeone is also banking on Felix and Luis Suarez, as mentioned earlier, to overrun the Blues. And this one, a clinical Iheanacho tip to fire Eagles to glory against Benin and Lesotho is also here. I want to score more hat-tricks for Leicester. Iheanacho, I mean, it's all about Iheanacho. Boost for Super Eagles has been a foreign pros shown AFCON qualifiers. Maybe they're already losing. We're looking at Complete Sports. That's the paper we're looking at. We see AFCON is on here. Okay. And the final one, Aribo named Nigeria's most successful player in the last 1 year. Yeah, he won trophy with Rangers, I think. Oyekuru market value rises to €7 million.
That's what happens when you're playing regular football and you're scoring as well too. Anyways, that's the end of the show. We have to go now. It's been a pleasure bringing it to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Thanks for watching.